Yep. Ding ding, let's go. Bam is so back. Bam Margera. If you've, like I, grown up on all of his nonsense, all of his stuff, all of his content, and then you've seen his temporary downfall into just partying, drugs, alcohol, rehabs, and whatnot, and the fact that he's back, and oh man, like, look into his story, how he was just like this close to death, and then he found someone and they helped him out, and I don't know if they're married, but they're at least dating. But man, he was so close to just not being here anymore. We'll call it that. And the fact that he's made this amazing comeback. I just wanted to make this video to kind of internalize that and realize that wherever we are, we can have comebacks. Like, life ebbs and flows. We can have our down moments. We can be in these low points, hitting these rock bottoms, and be close to not being here anymore. But we always get another chance. We always get more opportunities to see life in a different way and to just slowly make our way upward and outward again. Like I like to say, we're always in these phases, transitions, where we get more and more chances to clarify and expand ourselves at the heart and soul core level, and then extending beyond that in the mind, the thought, the emotions, the body, and then the people, places, and things, where we can make things happen for ourselves. And we need people like Bam to remind us that this is possible, that the human soul and everything, all the layers that we're working with, physical and metaphysical, like, we can make these comebacks if and when we're ready to make these slow and steady baby steps into something that's more wholesome, more generative as opposed to degenerative. We always have these opportunities. And I hope to see him at this event that's coming up soon. You know, he visits and does, demos and expos and whatnot, in places all around the US, maybe around the world. But just people like him. We need people like him. Especially if we're not too into any particular religion or spirituality. This is human. This is the human hero's journey. If you don't know already, look into, the hero's journey, Joseph Campbell, and shadow work, individualization, Carl Jung. We are all on a hero's journey, whether or not we're making it intentional. We're going through things, we're going through toughness, through challenges, through valleys, to eventually get to peaks. And it comes in waves, it ebbs and flows. And a lot of times we are not in charge of it. These things that are going on in human life, in cosmic life, there are things just like rustling around, like stewing. There are things stewing in the pot of life that not even we are in charge of. Things happen, people say things, people do things that affect us. We are living life, and life is living us in many ways. And we'd be wise in noticing that, right? It can be subconscious, it can be it can be unconscious, it can be implicit, it can be explicit. We are living and being lived. So for you workaholics out there, for you go-getters, lone wolves, just saying to ourselves, this is my life. I'm living it. I'm doing it. Yes, to an extent. And then things happen. And yes, we can have the intentionality. We can have the follow through, the initiative to make things happen. But we would be wise in seeing, knowing, and living that balance of, yeah, we can do our stuff, but we can also be helped. Yeah, we're living our life, we're doing our life, but sometimes life has plans that we don't predict, that we don't plan for, and we do our best to roll with the punches. It just is what it is. So, back to the concept of, we need people like Bam. We need people who have these stories of, they had their meteoric uprising, and then they had a downfall, but they didn't give up. Maybe they gave up to a very large extent, but then life came forward, slapped you in the face and said, look, it's not your time. You need to continue on. And better yet, once you continue on and find your uprising again, you will inevitably be an inspiration for others. That can be you. It doesn't matter where you are. Even if you're living your best life, you're doing awesome. Well, you might get smacked with something. You might have a temporary downfall. If you haven't had one already, gear up. It's gonna happen. And you can gear up and you can prepare, but when life finds ways to knock you down in a very real, visceral, human, existential way that knocks the wind out of you, that you are, gasping for air, and then you eventually find that air, and you get up, and you move, you can eventually, if you're not there already, you can eventually become grateful for those types of moments. Whether or not you're into this, it's true. Set your reticular activating system. Look into that. Set your reticular for seeing everything as guidance. Everything is actually helping you. And being patient in the sense of, if you don't see it, but you want to see it, set your reticular, set your perception for looking for help and guidance and avenues and pathways and doorways that are meant for you to go through. You go through it, and life becomes better as a result. And then you look at your past in retrospect, and you see that, wow, I actually did gain something from that. I did learn something from that. I did garner and extract wisdom from that. I am better because of that happening, of that being done to me. Right? Straight up. I'm trying to snap, but it's cold out. Better with the right hand, it seems. Doing it at the heart and soul level. Listening to ourselves. It ain't over till it's over. And if you're listening to this, that means you're alive in this earth realm, in this 3D, 4D, 5D, whatever. You're in this realm. You're still kicking it. There's still time. You're still alive. Have patience. Make your way through. Baby steps. Life will get better. Life is getting better. Straight up. Whew. All right. Much respect to you. Much respect to me. Much respect to this life for giving us the guidance, the wherewithal, the elements, the opportunities, the sustainability, the symbiosis for us to make it happen. This is Mr. Mike. Catch you later.